Cheers.
Cheers, darling.
I hope this is a good drink. They do super nice.
Has it got alcohol in it? I'm sure it's good. Irish people aren't usually the fussiest when it comes to things like that, you know?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, people are like, oh, we don't have this. I'm like, oh, it's fine, you know? We'll have that then, whatever.
Well, I have to say, I'm so flattered to be on a date with the mesmerizing, like you are hypnotizing in a way.
Wow.
Your whole energy is just like so. I knew it before I met you, but when I meet you, I'm like, whoa, you are like a beaming force.
I'm glad I'm living up to your expectations.
No more. No, you're just smashing them, like really.
I'm really happy to be here. It's nice. It's beautiful to meet you and have a chat and be on a date. My first date in a while.
You said, how come?
I guess it's, you know, it's a time thing also. I mean, I don't really have the time to, I'm very focused on what I'm doing with work. I'm very, like, you know, always on this kind of thing. And it's kind of like I'm not looking to go on dates. But also if someone that, you know, invited me for a date like you did, I would accept it. So, you know, I'm still open to offers.
Oh my.
But
people are missing out then.
Yeah.
Are your
well,
DMs
no, it's not that I'm not getting out. No, it's not like I'm not getting asked. I'm just refusing most of them.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Because I can imagine that a lot of people come up to you.
Not really. Not all the time. I mean, I think it's like sometimes the people that you maybe want to come up to you, I don't think that I'm intimidating in any way. Do you know what I mean? I'm not. I don't feel I am.
I think you are intimidating because you have this energy around you.
I'm just
and also
self-assured.
you are looking beautiful as
Thank you.
As fuck.
Didn't wake up like this though.
Who did?
Yeah.
Who did?
Yeah, I mean,
but like, who are you? Like, what are you falling for when you meet people?
I'm like a total sapiosexual, so I'm really into someone who is highly intelligent. Like, I love somebody who can teach me things about things that I don't already know. Like, I love someone who is just like very passionate about something. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't really, you know, but it would be something that if I had a remote interest in it, that would be good. But yeah, I'm really attracted to people who are just very strong-minded. Of course, people who are like physically attractive are attractive, but they wouldn't be. That's not enough for me to be invested in, you know.
Same.
You know, I would rather go for somebody who had something to offer me, like
a nerd.
Yeah, nerd, exactly.
Yeah.
But the sexy nerds exist as well. So the perfect man would be a sexy nerd.
But do they have to be interested in electronic music for you?
No. But not at all. No. They have to appreciate it. Not appreciate it, but appreciate my interest in it. But I mean, I like eat, sleep and breathe electronic music every day, like non-stop, all day, every day, all night, you know? So I don't necessarily need to have that in a relationship as well. I don't want to be lying in bed talking about EQ, you know, like it's just not, it's like pillow talk, you know. So I mean, the arts, if they were interested in the arts, that would be good, but I don't want them to be a techno nerd necessarily, you know.
No. Do you go up to people?
No.
In bars? No?
No, I'm the opposite. If I actually like someone, I'm just like, I get a bit like shy and I just, you know, probably just run in the opposite direction.
Really?
Yeah, maybe it's fear of rejection, that's probably it.
But it feels also like you have this, well, I'm telling what I feel, but you, getting to know you and your music, through your music mainly, feels like you are very like sensitive to energies and you have this kind of connection to something deeper than...
Yeah, source.
Exactly.
Source.
Yeah.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Oh. How does that work for you?
What do you mean, how does it work with
like when do you feel, so when you're...
That's probably why I get scared from fancying someone, because I'm like...
But do you see the person and you see their energy or like that, and then you're drawn to that?
Yeah, and it's very rarely it happens. Like, so very rarely. Like, you know, there's so many, especially when you work in nightclubs, right? So I'm in nightclubs all the time. I meet hundreds of people every night that I go to work. Like, how many guys do you meet? There's lots of attractive guys all the time, but it's kind of like, when I meet somebody or when I see someone that I'm like, oh God, look at, you know what I mean? It's something that I can't describe, and they don't even have a, you know, a set aesthetic. They don't, like, they could be, you know, any size, any color, any shape. Like I really don't discriminate. Like
No, yeah.
you know,
No, I'm the same.
it's more about their energy or like, you know, there's something that I can't even put it into words. It's
but
just
were
like,
you always like that? Because I feel that's something that has evolved in me. When I was a teenager,
Yeah.
I didn't know what I liked because it was
Yeah.
all the norm standards.
Yeah.
And then the older I get, the more I enjoy like differences
Yeah.
and like various body shapes and all these kind
yeah,
of
you kind of appreciate what
deliciousness.
makes people unique and different. You know, someone
Yeah.
who doesn't look like everybody else, or someone who has something that makes them not like everyone else is so attractive. But I mean, I don't know. I've always been into different random people. Like if you looked at like a book of my exes, you would be like, wow, she's schizophrenic. It doesn't make any.
That's a good sign.
It doesn't
think.
make any sense.
Yeah, I think it's the same with me.
Yeah.
But I think that's because you see something deeper than the looks.
Yeah.
Some people you are like, well, you know, it's the sibling thing with people also. Some people are attracted to people who look exactly like themselves.
Oh yeah, I did have an ex-boyfriend like that before as well. That was weird. I wouldn't do that again.
Did it work out?
No.
Obviously.
No, none of them have worked out. That's why I'm on this date now, babes.
Fingers crossed.
I think
This
as
is
well. I
better.
think like explorations in psychedelics and things like this over the years can really. I think, you know, society is supposed to be. It's always feeding us information. Like, you know, whether it's this is the beauty standard, this is what you should be looking for, this is what you should be doing, and you know, we don't even realize that we're being conditioned in this way because we're receiving so much of this information. And I think when you break, you know, if you go on psychedelic explorations, let's say.
Oh, that sounds fun. Is that our second date?
Yeah, it's tonight. It kind of breaks down those conditionings. You know what I mean? It makes you see what's beyond what we're told that we should know. And I think that can make you a little bit more energetically sensitive to people as well.
But this then, if you meet someone who you connect with, but they're completely disconnected from like spirituality or the sense of that.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be a problem either because it's like I am my own person and I don't want to be like someone who's like me. I want them to be their own person.
Love that.
We don't need to agree on everything. You know, I respect somebody else having different cultural background, different beliefs, you know, as long as we can just respect each other, that's fine. We don't have to have the same opinion. I
agree. What's your biggest red flags? Like
Men.
you meet the perfect person.
I'm joking.
Stay away.
No, I'm joking. My biggest red flags, I don't know. I mean, I guess somebody who says something and then doesn't follow through with what they say. You know what I mean? Someone who doesn't stick to their word. Like, you know, one thing I don't have is time to waste, to be honest. So if somebody was thinking about wasting my time, that would be not only the biggest red flag, but like, you know, you're in the bin. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Just say what you feel and do what you say.
Yes.
If you don't do what you say, you're just, you know, you're wasting all of our time.
Yes. But the biggest red flags out of a clinchy person, clingy person.
I like clinchy though. Clinchy also works.
Or a person who robbed a bank.
Oh gosh. Because I don't even think clingy is that bad. Like I want someone who's like, you know, obsessed with me. They have to be. I want someone who like literally thinks that you know I'm the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And I don't think, you know, robbing a bank, I mean, is it really that bad? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if I could get away with it, like, I'm not gonna get arrested for this. But yeah, you know, it's like I think that the whole structure of what we live in is bullshit.
If they say they're gonna rob a bank and they rob it, they stand by their words.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they get away,
that's a real man.
Oh, nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, if he had to rob a bank because he had so little going on in his life, maybe that would be a red flag. But I think, you know, if somebody wanted to heist something and, you know, run away to an island, you know, I wouldn't be necessarily condemning it.
But okay, so a person who is, because then you say you don't want them to be restless or like to not have anything going on. So you like people who are interested in stuff and have like passion.
They have to have, in my eyes, the same amount of passion that I have, but for anything. I don't care what it is.
Were you always passionate?
Yeah, always. I was always, maybe like slightly, you know, I think nowadays we're always realizing, you know, the spectrum, and we're always talking about ADHD and autism, and, you know, we're all self-diagnosing ourselves, you know. It's like, I don't know, but yeah, I've always been very obsessed with things that interest me. And then things that don't interest me, like, you know.
Yeah, you are a high energy person. And what was your longest club night? 4 days,
Yeah,
5.
my longest club night was actually in Berlin. It was about 7 years ago, and I think I had flown from London. I played a gig in London on the Thursday. I flew to Berlin. I went to Griesmühle, the old Griesmühle in Sonnenallee on the Friday night. I was playing on the Saturday morning. I don't know. Maybe it was I would know. Friday to Tuesday. Maybe, yeah, it was Friday to Tuesday. Maybe I said Thursday earlier on, but it was Friday to Tuesday.
But still.
Yeah, and it was great.
Yeah. Do you
know,
enjoy partying with your hookups or your
Yeah,
flirts?
I mean, it's like, I can't remember the last time I did have a hookup. I think it was like, God, this is a bit embarrassing, guys, but it was like maybe over a year ago. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, the thing is as well, because I'm quite sapiosexual and I am very attracted to people who stimulate my, stimulate my mind. If I do have a hookup, it would preferably, he'd obviously have to just be like really hot. And usually the preference is that he doesn't speak English, so he doesn't turn me off.
What?
Yeah.
That they don't speak
Yeah.
English?
If it's just a one night stand.
What if they hate Ibiza?
Yeah, I mean, okay, well, if they hate Ibiza, I would probably just make them have a debate about it with me, and I would debate them because.
Or you show them the gems?
Yeah, their opinion will, they're allowed to hate it, but it would be more so like, I would still fight the fact that, you can hate it, but depending on what they said about it, I would either agree or debate it, because there's always, so much more than what somebody, people can say, oh, about Berlin or something, like, oh, that's just, when I was a teenager, I remember I said to my dad that I wanted to go to Berlin, and he said, oh no, should they party for days out there? And I was like, you know what I mean?
Like me?
Yeah. Oh, and then I did it. But yeah, it's kind of like, I don't really have, I think when you say that I'm very high energy, it's probably because I keep a lot of my energy to myself. I keep my true inside. I give it to people like this, but I think, especially when it comes to sexuality, and especially women, because if you think about it, we're internal and men are external,
Exactly.
right? With our organs, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So when women, and not all women, I'm not speaking for all women, I'm just speaking for some women, right? Especially for me, if if I was to have a lot of those things, it's kind of like I'm damaging. I feel in a way, I don't know. It's just like, I mean, I had my wild days, in my 20s, like I'm not a nun by any means, like believe me. But it's more like now I like to keep that contained. I like to keep that energy contained. I feel like when I am honoring myself and I'm sacred to myself, I'm much more powerful. And that doesn't mean that I'm never going to do some crazy wild night again, but it just means that it's not something that's in my regular kind of thing. I wouldn't write it out, I'm never say never, but recently in the last year or so, I've just been focused on trying to get myself to where I need to go. And I'm convinced that the man will just arrive then, or whoever will just arrive,
Would you bring your person on tour with you?
Yeah, I mean, that would be fun because it's so, imagine, that would be like a dream for them as well. They just get to, come
support
around,
and chill.
stay in nice hotels, like, it's a free holiday.
You are selling yourself.
Yeah, okay guys, come on. We'll have a hotline after this. Yeah, I mean, I would be nice to somebody like that because it's quite difficult. Like, the last boyfriend that I did have was like 3 years ago, and he was like, we're not even going to talk about him in any other way, like, but he works like, like a normal job, so it's very hard for somebody who works weekends, late at night, to be able to have a relationship with someone who's on a completely different time zone all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They want to hang out with you on the weekend I'm in God knows where. And, I come home at like 10 a.m., they're like, getting judged. I'm like, this is what you signed up for.
Yeah,
this is literally what you signed up for.
Yeah. But you feel also like, it feels like you're a person who never really stayed in your, like you don't know comfort zone.
Yeah, I don't like the comfort. Well, I think I never want to be in the comfort zone because I think it's boring.
Yeah. Have you always been brave then?
I think I've always been tenacious. I've always been like, I've always just been like, in certain areas, you know what I mean? In areas that I'm confident in. I wouldn't say I'm a tenacious or I'm, like that in all areas of stuff for sure. I can be very shy sometimes.
I could see you with a high energetic person and you'd fucking take over the world. Like, right?
Maybe, yeah, if he's out there,
Do you enjoy...
If he's up for the job.
Do you enjoy people who have the same energy like you?
Yeah, I love when you can just, we're having this bouncy conversation. I love people who are just, who are open-minded, open-hearted, you know, who are caring, and we just want the best for everyone and everything, you know.
But what happens when you meet someone who is like, where you feel the energy isn't matching? Like we were speaking about this before, that I can be, then I like, I freeze kind of.
Yeah.
Or I get awkward or weird. How do you get?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like that as well. When I really have a physical crush on someone, oh God. Because, and that's like, that's, it's just like, what is it? Not limerence, but it's more like, you're not thinking straight, you know? So sometimes if I like, you know, it could be a random person, who knows? But I can't even talk to them because I'm like, I'm going to make a fool of myself. Because I'm just conscious of my ramblings.
That's it.
You know, I don't mind rambling to someone who I don't like have this kind of like urge to climb.
And I don't like myself then. I like, oh, I did not enjoy. If I don't like myself when I'm with some people, then I know this was not a good.
A good interaction. I mean,
and they can be perfect. Like I can appreciate them in their own energy by themselves, but not not together with me.
But I think that you seem really open and really warm. So I think, you know, there's a lot of times as well that I will walk into a situation, or I'll sit down at a dinner table, and you know, I'll meet people and I'll just totally be myself, like I am now, and I'll be met with like just these blank faces, and I'm just like, okay, I'll just go fuck myself then, like, you know.
That's the problem. If you have this kind of like beaming energy, some people are intimidated by it.
They don't like it. But what they need to know is that it's not like me being I'm not an attention seeker. Like, it's not like me just wanting to be center of attention. It's just.
Who were you in school?
What was I like in school?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, well, apparently, like, my mom refuses to admit that I have ADHD, but yeah, I could not focus for the life of me. School for me was like 12 years of prison. I hated every fucking second of it.
Feel you.
I was like, I absolutely was tortured, and I was very.
I always heard that I had attention problems. They're like, why can you not listen? Are you it?
I was like, but we weren't stupid, because I bet you still passed your exams and stuff, you know. And I didn't study either. I didn't do anything. I did as little as possible, because I was like in a torture zone, you know.
Yeah.
But I was very like, maybe bold. Like, I did some crazy shit. Like, I didn't care. I have no respect for authority. Like, I never will. I never will.
Oh my God! I always hear that. I used to work in restaurants, and the managers always had a problem with me. They were like, "You have no respect for authority," and I was like, "I do have respect."
No, I don't have respect.
And they were like,
No, especially when it's kind of an overlord situation. You know what I mean? Someone speaks down to me, like, I've got fired like from like not several jobs or several places that I've worked, because someone speaks to me in a certain way, and I'm really nice to a point. But then if you disrespect me, like, you won't recognize me. I will go in your face, and I will like, do you know what you can do? You can go fuck yourself, and I will just walk out the door.
Just cut and leave.
You know?
But then I think I'm also actually releasing them. Like, I can have some days afterwards where I'm hurt, even though I cut it off. I can be like, fuck, this was horrible. I thought they were. No,
but they guilt you, they shame you, but they've been pushing you to that point. You're not that person. Do you know what I mean? If you push me to the point where I just, you know, have to disrespect you back, it's not because I wanted to do it, it's because I had enough, you know? So, but we internalize that if it is, you know, someone of authority, because then it's like, oh, I've done something wrong, I'm a bad person, you know?
For sure, But you were a wild teenager.
Yeah.
Partying.
Yeah. Oh God. I mean, I can say this now, even my mom watches it. Like, I used to like sneak out of the house and go clubbing, and then I'd like come back in time to have to be woken up to go to school. I'd go downstairs, I'd wait till my parents fell asleep, I'd sneak downstairs, I'd hop out the front window. I'd climb out the front window of our house, I'd get picked up by some guy, get taken into a club, party all night, get dropped home, and then they'd be like, morning, I'd be lying in bed like, oh my God, I've just been in the club at like 15.
And
that was wild.
How old were you when you like started DJing?
18.
18.
I'm 32 now, so 13 years, yeah. I was in college, I was studying fine art, and I just like, and when I started DJing as well, I wasn't even playing really electronic music. I started this club night called Leather. Leather, but called Leather. Should have been called Pleather, but it was called Leather when I was in college, and we used to have like punk bands and metal bands. Like, that's like a huge part of my background in music too. Like, so we used to have like one live band, which was like one of my friends' bands and stuff, and like all those bands went on to do quite well also. So we'd have like a live show, and then I had no idea what I was doing, but I had the confidence to be like, it wasn't really mixing at the time anyway, but yeah, it was kind of more of an alternative, like gothic kind of punk metal vibe. And then I just, I really fell in love with it, and you know, I've always been really obsessed with music, so like, and not just one side of it. So it just became you know, something that I was like, this is what I want to do. And especially because of my experiences, I would say, on the dance floor. Like, you know, I've had moments on the dance floor the DJs have given me that's like, oh my God, this is the best feeling ever. Like, I don't care about anything. I don't care about tomorrow. I don't care about my problems. I don't care about anything. Right now is like, I'm getting goosebumps again.
Yeah.
Right now is just like, you know, like a religious experience. And I think that I was obsessed with, like, if I can ever give somebody else that feeling, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
It was like, for someone else to just not care about the things that we all have problems, you know? We all have shit going on. And so to have a moment in time where like that doesn't matter and you can just be happy, that's the reason, that's what drives me to DJ actually.
Do you think that's like, I don't know, I feel also maybe I'm very small-minded to say this, but somehow I feel that a lot of people think that life gets more and more intense, maybe through social media and the quick pace and you know all of this.
Yeah.
Do you think that the power of like the growth of electronic music or like techno is due to that we need to enter those spaces and just like meditate for a
Yeah,
sec?
100%. 100%. I think, and it's actually great that it's becoming more expansive because, you know, I think that raves is the same thing as like, you know, ancient civilizations, like, you know, dancing around a fire to the same repetition of a drum. You know, it's kind of like sending these energetic prayers. Everyone's doing this in the same rhythm. I think there's really something behind that.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's really something behind all these people connected to the same rhythm and just doing that. I think it's like sends, you know, messages up to space. Like, you know, I think it is. I think that can connect you to source.
Okay, speaking of source.
Yeah.
When did you know that you were like into like energies and like, you know, like when did you find your...
When did I find myself? In Ibiza, I think. I think when I moved to Ibiza when I was 21 years old for the first time. And I think before that I felt quite misunderstood because coming from Dublin, even though I was doing all of the things that I do now, I just, not that I don't need to be appreciated, but I felt like I wasn't really understood as much, you know, because maybe I was more different than my peers at the time and, you know, they couldn't, I think they didn't really relate to me in the same way. And when I moved to Ibiza, I just felt like I could be 100% myself and people would appreciate me for that. I didn't have to, I could, you know, and everyone that you meet at the time as well, like, I mean, 13 years ago, like, it was even a more different place, Ibiza. It was less kind of gentrified, you could say. And yeah, everyone that I met was like, you know, everyone had their own quirks and that's what you were loved for being as different as possible. And I think coming from where you grew up, you know, that sometimes that's not really celebrated, that you're different.
Yeah.
You're more under pressure to fit in.
Yeah,
And
I think
then-
that a lot of people also in Berlin feel this.
Yeah.
Like that they come to the city and suddenly they are not judged.
Yes,
Like you're
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
like, yeah, when you go clubbing, it's the same thing, you know? No one's looking at you for...
If you dress super fab or super dull.
Or you don't dress
Or
at
you
all,
don't
you go
dress
naked.
Definitely.
You know, I always said if I ever got married, right, or if I was ever like engaged, right, my hen party, like I wouldn't be a hen party, but I'd make all of my friends, we'd have to go to Berghain, right, and we'd all have to go naked, and we have to stay to the end. That's
I'm coming.
That's
If
my
you
one,
go.
my hen party. We're like whoever is, you know, whoever's on board. You don't have a choice if you're my friend. You have to do it.
Love it. Do you ever go clubbing naked?
No, I haven't, but that's why I'm saving it for there.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like even though I'm a very confident person, I haven't really entered that space yet. Like in the sense of like, I think I maybe would be a little bit self-conscious or like, I don't know, it could be very liberating, but I think, you know, I don't know, I've never tried it. So I'm thinking, you know, my last, before I'm a maybe married woman, then yeah, I was like, we have to go and strip and,
Yes.
you know, maybe like...
I mean, you could enter in small panties and then suddenly just take them off. Then you'd feel more like...
Yeah, I think maybe it's, maybe
Right?
we'd be going to undo the layers instead of standing at the cloakroom, pulling into your trousers down.
Yeah, that's true. That's like...
Have you partied naked though?
I go very naked, but I would say I have not... I have been going without panties, but with like...
Stockings.
Stockings, exactly.
Yeah, so something kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't gone completely with just the shoes yet. But yeah, when you have your hen party, tell me the date, and I'll come and cheer you on naked.
Yeah, after the hotline, when we choose the suitor from the hotline, we can it could be next year. So.
It's such a good experience though, because
it's liberating.
It's liberating, and when you feel that people are not staring at you.
Yes, that's it. You know.
Then you're like, you know. Also the FKK culture here, I feel.
The which?
The Freikörper culture, like the nude culture of Germany.
Oh yes, yeah, nude, yeah.
Yeah, like I brought my mom to Vabadi and she was like, oh my God, should I really undress in front of all these men? And then suddenly, like cut to 1 hour later, she just removed her robe. And I saw her laying in the room by the fire. And I was like, Mom, no one is literally naked here.
Oh,
oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, we came into this world in a way like it's, you know, it's our natural state. It would be it's maybe good for society to be more comfortable, not, you know, not looking at it, you know, not looking at bodies in a sexual way.
Yes.
Being able to be nude around people, but not looking at it like, you know, in this way that I think when you bring like sexuality into it, it changes the idea of being free and nude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of the secret beaches that I go to behind, like very close to my house, it's kind of like quite a hike to get down to it. You have to go down this rope, and then there's like an Indiana Jones moment where you're like in the sea, and then you're like kind of holding onto these rocks, and then you get around, you go to this little private cove.
Oh my God,
and it's in
magical.
Naturista, it's a nudist beach. So every time you're there, I mean, you know, you're going to see lots of granddad balls and like, you know, or like, you know, there's people everywhere, and it's kind of like I'm voyeuristic in the sense of like I don't mind what other people do around me. I'm like, you do you.
You do you.
You go for it. You know what I mean?
That.
Like, you know, I love.
So why did you move to Ibiza then?
That was it. I mean, I think I was just at 21. I was DJing. I'd already done like quite a lot of things in my city. I kind of felt like, you know, I was kind of looking at like what's after this. You know, when you're kind of playing in the better clubs that they have, you're kind of doing all this stuff. I was like, not that it wasn't enough for me, but I was just hungry for everything. You know, I just wanted to be free. And I think there's something like maybe quite like Berlin as well, like not anti-society, but very liberated about Ibiza and about Berlin, you know, Amsterdam, like these kind of places where like you can, you know, you're not judged for being the wild person that you are. You're actually celebrated for it. And yeah, that's it. But I would love to live in Berlin as well. You know, I would definitely consider it. The winter right now, I mean, it's very cold. I can't compare that to the beach in my at home.
Where it's 25 degrees.
But the summer is amazing here. And the problem is I'm always in Ibiza in the summer with my residencies. But the summer here is just such a vibe. I've been here in the summer before. It's amazing.
It is.
I
the
love
open
it. It's just
and it's
happiness. It's so like toasty and warm, and it's just beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, yeah. But also I feel the winters are so nice because you are like escaping the darkness in the clubs, where it's also dark, but it's just like you get some energy.
Yeah, you can have that hominess, you know what I mean? That like the coziness.
Do you believe in like attracting your perfect person?
Totally.
Yeah?
I'm trying to do it right now. Yeah, 100%.
I am.
Yeah. Exactly. Look, we're already here. I believe I'm hugely into manifestation, and I know it works because there's several things that have literally turned around, and I believe that when you align yourself in the frequency that you are your best, you're going to attract your best. I think when you're looking for something when you're looking for something from somebody, that's when you're going to get like disappointed, because you have to find everything within yourself. We came into this world alone, actually, and we're going to leave alone. That's quite dark, but if you can't be with yourself, then you're probably not going to be a good partner for somebody else. And I think that when and either way, it's not something that I even think about. Like, I don't even really think about men or the partners. They're just kind of there.
But they're not.
Yeah, they're there, but they're
maybe
not.
They are.
Yeah, but like,
now.
I don't. Yeah, maybe. But like, it's not something that, you know. I don't lie awake at night thinking, am I going to meet somebody? I'm just kind of. I'm in a different stage now. But I totally believe that like what's right for you is not going to pass you.
Do you write it down? What you like want to?
Yeah. Well, I do like ceremonies. We do ceremonies. Me and my friend, one of my really good friends, Carrie, she's a DJ as well. We do like DMT ceremonies.
Oh, what? That only lasts for 10 minutes, no?
Yeah, but so what you do is like you write down, like we'll write down all of the things that say that we want in our lives, but we'll write it in the sense of, because the trick with manifestation is you can never want for it. You can't manifest and want something. You have to act as if you already have it. Because time and space, if you think about it, like say we're already dead from another planet. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the further away you go, so we can manipulate our situation by the frequency of the energy. And if you if you are so sure that something is already there, it will show up. So we'll say, I'm so great, we'll write down like, I'm so thankful for XXX. I'm so thankful for, not like I want this to happen, because that's not the energy to bring it in. You have to act like you already have it.
And did you always do, like, was it always natural to you to like tune into like already being like working full time as a DJ and living in Ibiza? Was it always like, yeah, of course?
No, I mean, to be honest, I never knew, like, I mean, now I know that this is my life, but I mean, I wasn't, you know, at the level that I'm at now where, you know, I can finally support myself by what I'm doing. Like, there wasn't always like that. There was like, I mean, in the 13 years I've been doing this, I'd say at least the first 10 years were like, what the fuck am I doing? And also everyone being like, you know, this is so irresponsible, you know, like you don't know where you're going to get your next, you know, and I didn't know where my next paycheck was coming from. I was just like, I hope I can survive. Like, I had no security at all, but I fought through that. And
so you didn't have extra jobs so much on the side?
I mean, yeah, I did some, like, I mean, I did some modeling, I did some, like, you know, castings, I did some advertisements, like, I mean, I did, like, loads of random shit.
Did you try acting?
No, I never tried acting.
No? I feel that it could be your skill, secret skill.
But, you know, if I was an actress, I'd love to be, like, a warrior.
I always feel that people who have the light in their eyes, they could be, like, in front of the camera and they would just nail
I mean,
it.
I dated...
And it's not many people who have it.
I dated a lot of actors, so maybe that's put me off acting. I've quite a few in my repertoire, I'm not going to name any names. So yeah, I think people who do that full... It depends. It's like, for me, yeah, I don't think it would be something... I would, if I was to be an actress, there's one show, have you seen Vikings?
I have not, but I know it.
Okay, babe, you should watch that, because the guys are fucking hot. No, seriously, was the main reason I was like started to watch it, but it is very good.
But I'm from Sweden. I'm not so seen that already.
Yeah,
China.
yeah.
But I don't know, maybe.
But I think I'd love to play like a warrior or something. I wouldn't mind if I got brutally murdered, but I'd love to play like, if I ever did a thing, I'd love to play like someone, you know, like with an axe or something like.
Like Sina, the warrior princess.
Exactly.
That's
you. That's the role. I would look like, and I would
could
like,
do that for sure.
Is there any casting directors
oh my gosh, she's
watching
so
this?
hot. I was obsessed with her when I was a kid. I like obsessed.
Literally. Oh my god, you should be her for Halloween next year with the breastplate. That should be your Halloween costume next year.
I never dress up, but I'm gonna do it this next year.
Okay, maybe it's not very Berlin to dress up.
But I'll be there.
Yeah.
People are not gonna think it's a dress out though.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, it's Halloween every night in Berlin.
Oh my god, thank you so much. This was amazing.
You're a sweetheart. Thanks for having me.
This is
such a pleasure.